Good afternoon, actually. Blessed. I'm typing in the chat. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Sandra Peace Gen Extra. And I'm typing in the chat. Yeah, I don't know if what this mic is doing. Okay, well, I'm saying good morning. Come on in. Happy New Year. Blessed to be here. And I see my mod and friend, Linda Gamble. Good morning, Linda. Good afternoon, Linda. How are you? I hope everything is going well with you today. Good to see you. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. And I actually had this at the last minute. So I'm going to try to give myself 20 or 30 minutes just talking about the new year, upcoming things that I have. I had a kind of a strange new year. And today's only the second. We're only 2 days in. And for my new year, I don't know. I just haven't been feeling well. I don't know why. I didn't do anything New Year's Eve because I was under the impression that I had to work New Year's morning. And usually when I work, it's 5 a.m. is the start time to 1:30 p.m., which is great because even though I have to get up and out early, I end up having the rest of my day. But what happened with this particular morning was yesterday. I went to bed early. And when I got up that morning, I was rushing for some reason, wasn't feeling great. I was going to actually call out, went in anyway. The type of job I work, I'm at an airline, so I need certain equipment for my job. I get in, get everything, I'm ready. And when I turn my equipment on, it will give an assignment. There was no scheduled shift. So I pull up our computer to see what my shifts were. And I'm actually on vacation this week. So, and that's okay. I have vacation also the third week. I'll be going to St. Thomas with a group of ladies. I'm getting ready for that. I'm really excited for that. So I came on home. Usually there's enough work where if you say, put me in coach, they'll do it. But I didn't want to be there that day anyway. I didn't want to go in. It was my first day of the year. So I felt good that, I was being forced to take a rest, which was my goal anyway. And then I know I didn't feel great when I went to bed that night. Rest in peace, Lola and RD. Those are my parents. This is this is not the first New Year without both of them. Last year, I didn't really feel it because my mom had just passed on the 18th, and we buried her the week of Christmas. So New Year's, any of that, I really don't have a memory of it. But what's going on this year, what we always used to do, you get your house in order, our community, Black people, African Americans. You do not bring last year's anything into the new year as far as dirt. Your house has to be spick and span, all of that. And I didn't get all of that done. I'm just going to be candid. Good morning, Sharon Gobble. How are you? I'm just chatting. I see Linda Gamble was already here, so I just started out. I'm welcoming everybody into 2025 and just talking about how mine started out. So this week, I had time to get my house in order, my literal physical house, and then also things that I'm planning for the new year. So I have a vacation the third week of this month. We'll be going to St. Thomas with a group of ladies, some of whom I don't know if they've announced it or not. I was in Tea Talk with Your Girls chat this morning. I think she has disclosed that she's one of the people that are going to St. Thomas. So I can say her for sure because I know she's mentioned it. And also she mentioned as well, I'm excited about this, y'all. We're going to do, for Real Housewives of Atlanta, we're going to do a 4-person panel. And I'm the baby channel. I'm the youngest channel. I'm the smallest channel. So it's an opportunity for me. And I've met all of these ladies, and I just feel a kinship, a friendship with them, and I'm excited to be doing it. So as I said, I'm the youngest channel. And then we have who I consider the OGs. It's going to be Sassy T from 803 and Tea Talk with Your Girl, who came up with that great idea and asked all of the ladies and brought us in to do that. And then Drop the Tea. Drop the Tea is, I'm older than her, but her channel is a big sis to my baby channel. So this is going to be exciting, y'all. I'm looking up to this. Oh, and I see I have 3 people in here and 3 likes. So thank you. And hopefully more people will join the live as we come along. I had actually planned to do, I already watched Tyler Perry's Netflix movie, The 688, and I loved it so much. I watched it twice. And I have all these pages and notes, so I don't know how that would work. If I review that, that's going to be a separate video. But the channel is still so new. That's another thing, 2025. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with myself, with the channel in 2025. I'll start in your comments. Sharon Gobble says, good morning. Linda spoke when she came in, of course, said hello to me. And we have the two of you down in the chat. There's 3 people. So we have someone in the bushes. Bushes is actually fine as well. Sound check Annette. How are you? Good afternoon. Welcome to 2025. I hope everything's going well with you so far. It with me. I started out a little discombobulated because I didn't do the things that I usually do to prepare for a new year. So I was feeling kind of behind in what I should do, but it's only January 2nd and I should not be feeling anxious already about that. Now, how is everybody doing? Oh, hope you guys will be reviewing Real Housewives of London. If that's a go, that's something we can look at too. Linda, that's a great idea because that is a new show. I remember they had Ladies of London or something like that. The lady that was on Dubai, Caroline Stansbury, Ladies of London was her actual show. So I was kind of familiar with her. So Bravo doing Real Housewives of London. I would absolutely be interested in that because Real Housewives of Dubai just got canceled. I started them with the first season. For some reason, I couldn't make it to the new season with them because I really only liked Chanel Ayan. I thought she was adorable. Some of the things she would blurt out, and she looks so much like the original Iman, the model. Just her features. I think they're both either Sudanese or Somalian. Somalian, I'm almost sure. I should look it up. Hey Siri, model Chanel Ayan, what is her heritage? I think they're Somalian, but they look so much Somali and Ethiopian. Okay, Chanel Ayan is Somali and Ethiopian. This is another thing I'm trying to figure out, guys. When I go live just through YouTube because I don't have all of the capabilities yet that other people get. I had the ebook from the Silva, and I actually did the upgrade where I would get time with her, and I did spend the time with her, but I'm not tech savvy at all. I have a couple of people that have offered to help me. I haven't taken them up on it yet because I want to do more homework myself before I do that. You guys are speaking to each other in the chat. You love the Dubai Housewives? I like them too. I guess maybe, I don't know why that didn't make it. I don't think Andy Cohen paid a lot of attention to that franchise. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to have to take a sip. I don't think he paid a lot of attention to that franchise. But I have heard that 2 of the housewives that we know so far, or one's a former housewife, is going to be on the reality show Traders, is Chanel Ayan. So Bravo does like her. They still want to move and work with her because she's beautiful. She's so funny. And her relationship with her husband and her son is so sweet. So we'll get to see Chanel Ayan on Traders, and also Rob Dixon, one half of the Green Eye Bandits. I liked Robin maybe season 1 or 2. And then I started to kind of dislike Robin, the way her and Giselle would, in my opinion, team up against the other women. They have a meanness to them that I don't like. And Giselle, this year, she's not character, but the person that she is on the show, I like her a little more. I think her and Robin together team up to make Mean Girls. I don't like teamed up Mean Girls. So I'm going to see what Robin Dixon's personality is like on Traders, where she's standing alone, unless the housewives try to kind of bunch up together like they've done I think it was season 2. Yeah, that was Phaedra's season. They kind of have a little alliance, a secret alliance with the housewives, because people go against them if they know they're actually doing something together. So they said, there's a Real Housewives of Lagos. I've heard that, Linda Gamble. I don't know where they would show that at. I think I feel like I've seen clips or something on YouTube. I have so many different channels. I don't even know what I have or what's where, but that's something I definitely would watch. There's another large YouTube channel, and the lady, she used to be a model, but she still has many connections. Her name is Fumi Dese-Uvold or something like that. If she's come up in your mentions, it's worth watching. Fumi's pretty funny sometimes. I think I'm still subscribed. I should be. I usually don't unsubscribe unless somebody goes in a direction that I'm uncomfortable with. Some channels will start out a certain way, and then they'll kind of like veer left. If they go too far left, then I'll unsubscribe. But for the most part, a person wouldn't lose me as a subscriber. I have a lot of channels I'm subscribed to. But I mentioned her because she was reviewing Real Housewives of Lagos in Nigeria. And that's where, you know what, Phaedra is actually I follow her on IG. She's in Lagos right now. Her and Portia, they're doing a girls trip. So I don't know if they're taking pictures and stuff or like video for Bravo to film or maybe have some kind of little spin-off or something like that. I'm not sure. But they said they were in Lagos partying. And I'm actually live through YouTube. StreamYard doesn't really work for me. I don't know enough about it yet, or I'm on the free version of StreamYard, so it won't let me share and do things like that, because I would be interested in doing that if I could. But I can pull it up on my IG. The only thing about IG, I get nervous with IG, even though I'm not monetized. I get nervous with the music that they're playing. They always have music. Here we go. As soon as I came up, that's Tupac. I wouldn't mess with that. Okay, I'm just gonna try to find Phaedra. I had some things saved in here. No, I'm not gonna do that. Anyway, if you follow Phaedra on IG, you'll actually see where she and Portia are in Lagos right now. That's where they go to get the men with the money. Portia, I don't know. I think that she's gonna be. Hey, Angela A, how are you? Hi, and Angela A, Top Shelf. T-Talk with your girl was asking if you were in the chat this morning. We know you're her executive assistants. She's the one channel that I heard have one. I know. I think the Silver has an assistant as well. So we're just chatting about the new year, whether or not anybody has any plans. Sharon Garbo can't wait for Traders either. Me either, Sharon. Me either. So far, that's the two shows I'm going to be reviewing that I know for sure is Traders. I'm still doing Married to Medicine, and then the Real Housewives of Atlanta that we're doing on the 4-person panel with T-Talk with your girl, Sassy T from the 803, Drop the T, and Sandra P's Gen Xtra. So we are looking forward to that. We'll talk about it when we go on our little girls trip that we're going to do at the end of this month. Does anybody else have anything planned? Angela's on the girl trip as well. I don't know if you disclosed that or not. If you didn't, I apologize. Sometimes I forget. Some people are really, hold the information close to their vest, which is fine. I think that's smart to do, especially on YouTube. But when we get around the same people and you kind of get to know people a little bit in the chat, and then those of us that have been to some of the events, then we start to know each other a little bit more and communicate outside of YouTube. So sometimes things feel more comfortable than maybe they should. So I apologize if I disclosed that and you had not said. Oh, you missed the first live this morning? Oh, okay, you dropped in. Oh, I didn't know she was live currently. I'm going to jump over there because I'm not really talking about anything. I'll try to get maybe 15 or 20 minutes. Is anybody in the New Orleans area? I made the mistake of turning the news back on. That's all these people are talking about. It's so upsetting because I've been to New Orleans, but not when they do the big crowds. I've never been to Mardi Gras, anything like that. But all this stuff they're talking about is really upsetting. They said that 14 people now have lost their lives. The last I heard of it, the person that they were accusing was a 22-year-old vet from Texas. Now he's 42. I think he was still a military person. They have a picture of him that's looking like the type pictures that they like to do. And let's say there's somebody else. Oh, there's a Cybertruck explosion. That's somewhere else. I'm gonna have to turn this off. That's out. It was outside of the Trump Las Vegas hotel. There's a lot of different things that are going to be going on. I think I'm going to be laying low as far as news because it just makes me anxious. I don't want to deal with that right now. Angela A speaking to Linda Gamble and giving her a heart. Gamble. And I appreciate Linda accepting a wrench from a small channel like mine. But I see that I'm getting, as I get shouted out on other channels, I appreciate when they do that. I haven't asked anyone to do that. I started my channel. The only person who knew was the Silver because she was the coach. And then people started recognizing that I had changed my name because I was always Sandra P. Then when I changed it to Sandra P's Gen Xtra, I started getting some of the people that I follow and that are also in the chats with and getting to know people over the past, I would say, year. It's coming up on a year. Because I would always be in the bushes. Then I started to talk in the chats and getting to know people. Oh, my t-shirt today. This is Sade. Everybody, this Gen X group that we're in, ladies that are 50s and up, we know Sade, and I love Sade. She's probably one of my favorite singers, but she doesn't put a lot out. She has a video now where she gave birth to a daughter, but her child started going through some things in the teen years, and has actually gone through a transition. And he's a gorgeous, gorgeous son. I cannot remember his name, but if you go on YouTube and you type in Sade, she has a video about it, raising a lion or something like that. But it's really beautiful because that's her only child. And if your child comes to you and they're hurting, something's going on with them, I don't know what else you would do. You know, some of these Christians, they might say disown them or do this or do that, but Sade she loves her person that she brought into the world, no matter how that person identifies. I think that's beautiful. The video's still up. It has a lot of views too, but of course it's Sade. She doesn't put out a lot of music. I don't even know the last, I'm probably 10 years old. The last 10 years, the last CD I have from her is probably 10 years old. She don't put out a lot of music, but when she does, it's always good, and I love it. Hey, Cece snuck in here. How are you doing? Cece's speaking to everyone. I love to see you. You love Sade too? Yeah, that's one of the ladies that she doesn't get out there and tour a lot. She doesn't have to. Her music just stands the test of time. She doesn't have to chase any trends. She just cool, got that smooth, sultry, silky voice. She's gonna stand there and sing. I just love it. Actually, Maxwell opened for her the last time we saw her. She came to my city. She came to Charlotte, which is where we saw her. Maxwell opened for her, and then one time she had John Legend. And John Legend, he's really talented. His music is kind of transition. It used to be really R&B and hip hop type R&B, but now he's a little whitewashed for me. I still love his voice. I love a lot of things about him, but I could do that without some of his new music. I don't like his at all. Chrissy Teigen got a lot of mouth. She gets on and off Twitter and talks crazy to people. DeSoto Duchess. Hey, DeSoto Duchess. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to my channel. Everyone in here, please like, comment, share, subscribe. And I was just talking about my new year, how it started out kind of strange. I showed up at work at 5 a.m. It wasn't scheduled because I'm on vacation this week. And we have a system. You can check from home whatever your schedule is. And there was no excuse for me to do that, but I had been kind of discombobulated. I didn't do the things I'm supposed to do for my new year. So I'm taking my vacation time that I have this week, and I'm going to be getting things in order around my house. I have to do my budget. There's so many things I have to do, but I don't have to rush. I don't have anywhere to be. So I'm just on live with you ladies. And you'll see me in the YouTube streets too, because now I get to kind of move around a little more in the YouTube streets. When I'm working, I have to go to bed a little early. So I've been missing a lot of stuff that's been going on. And some people had posted, I saw Melody and Miss Vann and the children in Vegas sharing their holiday stuff that they were doing. Of course, they're packing. Somebody put up where they're packing orders and stuff, but we saw them kind of just celebrating and dancing with each other for the holidays. So that's nice. And let's see, I'm trying to see what else we got on here we can talk about. IG, I'm looking at the people I follow, if they have anything I'm interested in talking about. We talked about Real Housewives of Dubai, that they canceled that. There's going to be Real Housewives of London. Linda Gamble has mentioned and suggested maybe we could review that, the panel, but I won't commit them to anything else, but we'll definitely talk about it because I think that will be interesting. Caroline Brooks was one of the people on Real Housewives of Dubai. I didn't really care for. Do you know Caroline Brooks? Something. She looks different in every picture. Every time I see her, she looks different. But she was feuding with Chanel Ayan. And she was feuding with the other young lady too. There was the Jamaican lady. I can't remember her name. She was married to a British man. They have two sweet little boys. And she started out really good for Lisa. Lisa was really good friends with Chanel Ayan. And something happened during one of the seasons and they fell out. And I think it was about the show. Andy Cohen, I got my eye on Andy Cohen. Andy Cohen, sometimes I think he stirs stuff up with the women within their friendships to get the viewers kind of on team this or team that, even with the couches. And you know who does the same thing over on his network. And I don't know why, as Black women, we allow them to do that. Carlos King, CK, he's really bad about it. There's no reason. I'm looking at Bell Collective. I can't even watch Bell Collective now. I actually stopped watching them when Latrice was followed by her husband to that bar. Remember when Cliff kicked out Joshy? Joshy was too mouthy in that man's house. Joshy was talking too much junk in that man's house, but he went out for a drink with Latrice and Cliff showed up. And production was involved, but Cliff, I felt like also tracked Latrice to that place. And I can't even call it an argument because Latrice turned into like this little girl. She's young. She's in her 30s and Cliff is our age. He's in his 50s. But Cliff called her out of her name. He had his hand on her, and then production is so messy. They forwarded into the camera, and you could see that his hand was no longer there, but you could see where the hand was. That was it. I stopped watching the show. And then at the reunion, I heard that Letitia Pearson brought that up, and they were questioning things about Latrice and Cliff's relationship. I don't really like that either because Carlos sits there and cackles about that stuff. It's kind of disgusting. That every show that Carlos has produced, the cast could actually, if they stuck together, instead of being jealous and focusing on one or the other, they could actually be in charge of the show. Like Love and Marriage Huntsville. I don't know why they would turn against Mel on Martell's Say So when they could have all as six said, look, Carlos, we're all as one and just move in unison. And you take control that way instead of letting yourself be pulled out and separated from each other. And then you have team this, team that. You're not as strong when you're divided. Thank you, Linda. 7 likes and 7 in the chat. Linda Gamble says it'll be more people to walk off Carlos King shows. I agree, especially the ones that don't need it. You see what Akeisha did. Merry Christmas. The colognes will not be returning. I said, I know that's right, Akeisha. Take your husband and your 2 little cute children. They had a little Christmas card up and it was so cute. You don't need that. So Gucci, same thing. She don't need it. And she loves being on TV. I could tell that by the way she was letting herself be kind of hyped up to get into it with Selena because she said they never had an issue before. I remember Bring It. I don't remember So Gucci on Bring It. I do remember Selena and I do remember JJ. And I remember because they were the parents of the girls, but they never had an open conflict before Carlos King got involved. So I'm glad Sophia did what she did for the sake of her family, her marriage. I'm sorry she was going to miss the opportunity because I know she liked being on TV. I know JJ loves it, but I'm glad that those 2 important people on the show just walked away. Letitia Pearson, she let her husband quit that job. Glenn had a job out on the oil rigs where they go out and they go on for weeks and they make good money. They make a lot of money. But he likes being on TV as well. Then when he called himself rapping, that's a whole mess. Yeah, I agree with Linda. Let's see if there's anything else we could talk about here. Nope. That was Andy and Anderson Cooper, drunk. He said the last black man to drink on this network got fired. That's Roy Wood. Roy Wood, he's a comedian. He does his own thing. They can't fire him. He doesn't work for CNN. They're talking about Don Lemon. Don Lemon was out there drunk with them that year. It was Andy Cohen, Anderson Cooper, and Don Lemon. Now, you would think Don Lemon, his stature and everything, he'd be their equal, right? Everybody was drunk. But Andy works for Bravo, and he's an executive over there. Anderson Cooper was with CNN as well as Don Lemon. Don Lemon was the one that got fired. And you remember they tried to make it something that he said something offensive about Nikki Haley. And maybe it wasn't the smartest, but it wasn't offensive. He said she wasn't in her prime. Nikki Haley's in her late 40s or something. That's a woman's prime. So that Don Lemon, I don't like you talking like that about women. I can't stand Nikki Haley, but they were looking for something to get him on. So he's moved his news views right over to YouTube. He always comes up in my feed. I don't know that I'm subscribed because I have so many channels. I subscribe to smaller channels. I do watch some of the ones if they're interesting to me. I like Don Lemon's take on things. Sometimes he could be a little out there, but I agree with him in a lot of things. So I do watch him. Linda Gamble says, JJ is the problem between Selena and So Gucci. I think so. I didn't watch it this season, but I heard they had a kind of a come together in New Orleans when they took the cash trip. And then by the time they got back and Sophia lets JJ know, then all of a sudden he throws a wrench in it and the ladies are feuding again. Oh, and I did watch the first part of the reunion. I'll probably watch the second part too. I didn't like the way they were talking to each other. they need the job, they need a check, and her shoes cost more than her house, and trying to humiliate each other. None of them would be there if they didn't either like being on TV or needed the check. So that's not something I'd say to another Black woman. I go to work, I actually still need the check. If I knew in my 20s what I know in my 50s, I wouldn't need the check. I could have walked away by now. But, I'm still working. I don't think there's anything negative or something to throw up in somebody's face. Because Selena's engaged to be married. I heard her husband to be, I don't know what he does. Because Sophia said something slick about that. I don't know what he's into, but he's working. And Tambra, with her new little sweet little baby girl, somebody made a comment about that Damon has 2 jobs, but she did. She said babies are expensive. He has 2 jobs, so he's not here. I heard he was a tow truck driver. I think he owns a tow truck service, and then something else that was service. But somebody was trying to make it, oh, he's doing this. Like he's not in entertainment like Tambra, that his job is lesser. It's not. That's very lucrative. Towing a truck is lucrative. You can tow, they tow cars, they tow everything. But anytime I've been towed, I've only been towed about twice. They take your car into possession and they get to tell you how much you're going to pay, get your car back. And you're going to pay that because you need your car back. Unless you're driving something that's worth less than $250, maybe you let them keep it, but you're going to pay to get your car out. So Damon's making good money. And Tambra's right to keep him off TV, because the one time he came to a scene, Letitia Pearson flew up in his face. And I used to like Letitia. She's my favorite Belle, season 1, but I hear she's up to a lot of mischief. She went over to Damon and started asking him something about some girl that they all knew or something. And Tambra was really upset about it. Cece, you sub to Don Lemon? I watch him quite a bit. I may be sub too. I was mentioning I try to support a lot of the smaller channels, but it's funny, YouTube pushes, of course, in your feed, they're going to push all the larger channels and kind of push. So for me, I support a lot of Black women creators. Right now, I'm only subscribed to about 2 or 3 men. I like C. Diggy One. He talks about the housewives, but he don't call them out their name. He don't call them B's or H's or anything like that. I don't subscribe to any man that does that. And then Braylon Lee, because I don't hear Braylon doing that at all either. He can go off once in a while, but it's very rare. Any man doing that, I don't care what the man's orientation is. You can't be on a level where you're calling women out of their name. I don't agree with that. Hello, Empowered Woman. Happy New Year. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is my first live in 2025, so I appreciate it. Thank you. I hope everybody that likes also comments, or you could be in the bushes. That's fine too. And subscribes to the channel, because I'm on vacation this week, so I'm going to have more time. I'm going to put more content out. I've been being asked for more content, and I want to give more content. I just need ideas about what I should be talking about, because there's a lot going on politically. I read about politics and that sort of thing, but it's getting to my anxiety, especially after the election. It's not something I really want to dwell on. Even this morning, they're still talking about New Orleans. Here's another press conference. It's up to 14 people, and I've been in that area quite a few times. I love walking in the French Quarter. I love going to get beignets. They showed the Walgreens that's on the corner. Everybody runs in there. If you stand in a hotel that's near there, that's the place where you go and get your water and drinks and your snacks and everything. It's sad. And now they're blaming someone. They claim he had a flag with an I, and then separation of the word would be cis. But I don't know. You can't, everybody's a lone wolf until they're not. It's hard to trust anything you see in the news now. Me too. Empowered Women said, me too. I was at the hotel where that happened. Oh, you stayed there too? Yeah, that's something else. That's so sad when there's a lot of locals. The other thing I like about when you take a trip to New Orleans, there seem to be an equal mix of, you'll see a lot of the tourists and stuff, and you try to do the little touristy stuff, but there's still people that's their job, that they're down there in French Orleans. There's a lot of locals that are around there too. So for this guy to come from Texas and just ram into people, they said he went around barricades and stuff because they had the quarter actually blocked off. So he goes around barricades and he's able to take out 10 to 14 people. But there was some states after the election actually had laws where if people are protesting and you feel at risk in your car, you can run into a protester and run over the person. They were trying to protect the guy that did that to Heather Heyer, and when they had that at Charlottesville, Virginia, and that young lady lost her life. So they were trying to do things so that protesters will be at risk. But Black women, we know we don't need to be marching right now for anybody. We're trying to get our own house in order. At least I am, and I'm wrong to even have this news on. I'm supposed to be putting on chicken soup for myself, and I think that's part of the reason I wasn't feeling great. Haven't had a taste to really eat anything. New Year's Eve, I did get my black eyed peas and my collard greens. I also had yams, macaroni and cheese, and salmon cakes. Does everybody do the traditional New Year's Eve good luck? At least the collard greens and the black eyed peas? Or you were there in June, Empowered Woman? Well, yeah, it's a nice time to be. It's so, the weather there is so funny because in June, July, they'll get like a really quick rain, they get a downpour, and then the weather's clear again. I guess because they're right there on the Mississippi like that. But I love New Orleans a lot. We used to spend quite a lot of time in New Orleans, and my family would go. My parents loved to go there with us too. We would all take vacation at the same time and go to New Orleans because to stay in the hotels there were pretty cheap at the time. I don't know how it is now. I haven't been in a few years. You love collard greens, but not black eyed peas. Yes, a lot of people don't like them. My sister won't eat anything that look like a bean. She's really funny because I'm 7 out of 8 children. I'm number 7. My sister's number 8. And we had to eat a lot of beans. Both my parents were from the South, and the Great Migration, they ended up in New York. They met in New York. It's funny. They're both from North Carolina. My father's from Durham. My mother's from a tiny town called Moxville. And they both went to Yonkers, New York in maybe like the 40s, late 40s, maybe 1950. My parents were older. 40 when they had me, 42 when she had my sister. But I have older brothers and sisters that are in their 60s now. So there's like two parts of my family, but my mom had 8 children altogether. There's 7 of us still living. But what was I talking about? Oh, the collard greens. And my sister won't eat beans. Okay, because we ate so many beans, so many greens, all of that stuff. But my parents were both great cooks. A lot of people, when you're in a big family, and we couldn't afford to eat out any of that stuff. McDonald's was a treat. We didn't get McDonald's. The other thing we loved was Chinese food, Chinese restaurant. We didn't get to do a lot of that, and that's one of the cheapest foods you can have other than Mexican. Cece had black eyed peas, collards, and cornbread. That sounds good. I had cornbread with mine too. That sounds good. Angela, I did the black eyed peas, but I was worn out on the greens. You got tired of greens? You eat a lot of greens, Angela? Hey, I love greens. I have my sister cook them for me. I'm not big on cooking greens. I like to cook certain things. When I do my chicken soup, I'm gonna put chicken wings in it. I still have sweet potatoes left, well, yams. So I'll have the yams that I'll probably put in the soup, white potato, carrots, onion. But I have chicken stock I'm gonna make that with. And then I'll boil it and then I'll let it just sit all day. I put it in the crock pot. Because there's something going on with I don't have the cough anymore, but something going on in my throat. Cece, I visited New Orleans the year before Katrina. I haven't been back, but I have a conference scheduled there in May or June. Yeah, it's changed a lot since Katrina. We were there the summer before that too. And when that came on TV and we recognized the places that we had been, but up underwater, and the people, the way they herded those people into that shelter or last resort, which ended up being the stadium, that was terrible. That showed us right then what this country thinks about a lot of us. And they don't take the time to say, this one's working class, this one is this one is that. Certain people, they don't care at all. They don't give a care at all. That was terrible. And my parents, they were senior. And my father passed at 88. My mom passed at 93. Something about seniors, they love the news. My parents were CNN. They had that on in their house all the time. They stopped cruising with us because of CNN. That when we started cruising, we found out that's the easiest way, economical way for all of us to get together and go somewhere. So we'd either drive to Charleston or Jacksonville, Florida. We've cruised from New Orleans before too. But there was a cruise ship that went kind of awry in Italy. The captain hit the rocks and they were slowly sinking, but he didn't know the severity of it. And a lot of seniors passed away on that cruise. It was like 30 something people he lost. The captain did, because he didn't act quickly enough. He was at dinner and he was telling them to bring his date's dessert or something. And my parents saw that. They said, nope, they let the old people drown. I was like, Ma, that's not what happened. But my parents, when they get something in their mind, that was it. They said, well, we appreciate it going out of the country and stuff, but we don't want to do it anymore. So the only vacations we would take in the last years of their life, the last one we actually went to Wilmington, North Carolina. So it had to be driving distance. They want to go to Charleston, South Carolina, Wilmington, North Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia, New Orleans, Louisiana, somewhere that they can either fly to or drive to, but they didn't get on anybody's ship after that. The network specialist, hello. Hi, network specialist, DeSoto Duchess. I spoke to CC, Angela A, Sharon Godbold, Empowered Woman. Everybody speaking to each other. The network specialist, I'll give a trigger warning. I didn't listen from the beginning, so I didn't know if she did, but she has a very touching, important topic on her channel right now. She's talking about it's a Braxton niece. It's actually Michael's daughter. You know, Michael is a nurse. Sometimes we see him on the Braxton show. I actually didn't watch it this year. My sister asked me to watch it because she didn't have anybody to talk to about it, but I couldn't watch Tracy. I knew they were going to use Tracy like that, and I knew they were feuding with her husband, so I couldn't watch that. I may still go back and watch it because of what the network specialist covered with the niece, Ashley. There was a situation within her family where there was some possible SA involved. And the aunt, she was 16 years old, maybe younger, but the aunt, they didn't name the aunt. People are speculating is Trina because the uncle that is involved probably will be somebody that we think would, you know, go in that direction as far as being inappropriate with someone young. And Gabe, rest in peace, he's no longer here to defend himself. Trina hasn't mentioned it at all, but it's a really, really good live that she did. And she was really sensitive in covering it. I don't like when people are inflammatory or kind of titillated by what they're covering. That disgusts me. I haven't been able to watch any Sean Combs coverage because Gen X, that's the music of my, not childhood, because we're the same age. I think Puffy just turned 54. I turned 54 December 30th. So I'm not listening to anything where they're talking about it like it's something exciting or cute or anything like that. That's disgraceful. If you have time and you want to listen to the topic, the network specialist is one of the best I've seen on it. I'm not going to watch a lot of it unless we get, if Ashley speaks out again or we hear from one of the Braxtons, then I would definitely watch that. But it's up on her channel now. It's excellent. That was really good work, the network specialist. Thank you for stopping into my live. Empowered Woman says that was so messy, but unfortunately occurs in our families. It does, Empowered Woman. And for some reason, well, I'm not going to say for some reason, we don't talk about it because a lot of time, and it's girls and boys, but when it's the girls, they will make the little girls, make them out to be fast or this or that. And somebody doesn't always have to be fast, that someone's putting their hands on them or grooming them to when they reach a certain age, you know, they can be inappropriate with them. Little girls are little girls, and black girls, in my experience, are seen to be older all the time. And I don't understand why that is. I'm glad my vision is clear. I see a little girl as a little girl, and little boys as little boys. I don't do that little man thing and all this kind of stuff. You're 8 years old, you're not a little man, you're a little boy. And I don't think it's cute. I don't like that. Because there's a reason why people do that. Certain people used to do that in the past so that they could put them to work sooner. I used to watch that show. I can't remember the name, but it was Journey Smollett and Aldous Hodge. Aldous Hodge is now Alex Cross. It was about runaway enslaved people. And I think they might have started out in New Orleans or something. It was an excellent show, but they took it off the air. But the lady that was in the house, her daughter was Journey Smollett. And Journey Smollett's mother ran the whole house, and she was having a relationship with the master. She also had children by him. I think Journey Smollett was one of his children, but they had a little brother, a little tiny brother that was the apple of everybody's eye. He was only 5 years old. And when the father either got sick or passed, and the wife, that lady could not stand that little boy because this is a love child between the enslaved woman and the master. And she said, oh, he's looking big enough now. He can go do something. Because they'd have him doing little stuff, you know, fanning people that were at party and stuff. And she started making him 5 go out into the field. So that's where the adultification of children started. And we've taken that on as part of our trauma and made, trying to follow somebody else. A child is a child. And I don't care if they're 14, that's still a child. But I cannot remember that. I don't know why they took that show off. It was so good. Thank you so much. Network specialist, you're welcome. You do amazing work over there. Speaking to Linda Gamble, the beautiful Linda Gamble. Yes, she has a wrench over here. I'm so excited. Well, I didn't have it in mind. I had somebody make a rude face or something to me one day, and I figured out how to put it on. Only subscribers can comment, because before I had it open to the public. And the one thing you don't want to do is be a newer channel and be live and just have the public in there, because a lot of people troll for some reason. If there's something I'm not interested in, or I don't care about the topic, or maybe I know I disagree strongly, I don't even go to those places. I don't have time to do that. Cece speaking to the network specialist. Hey, sis. I love we call each other sis. And I wasn't really talking about too much over here. I'm glad that I got everybody in here today that I usually love to see. And my channel is growing. I appreciate all of my new subscribers. And I'm going to be doing a lot more lives. Actually have some time this week, so I'm coming up with some content, and then I'm going to do some more lives. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their day. And thank you for stopping by, Sandra P's Gen Xtra. And I really appreciate every single person that's in the chat and takes any time to stop on my channel, leaves a comment. I love it. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to go ahead and end the live because we were just talking. Love all of you.